Hey, good afternoon and welcome to Elk Grove Village, Illinois, Elk Grove High School for a softball game with the Elk Grove Grenadier ladies softball team hosting the Wheeling Wildcats. We're in for an exciting afternoon of softball here on a beautiful 72 degrees day. Mark Malarczyk here. Joining me is
This is Brian Styring here, and you're right, you couldn't ask for a more beautiful day.
Yeah, this is a lot better than what it was supposed to be last week against Hoffman Estates.
Oh yeah, that was definitely. I was driving over here and saying, I don't know if they're going to play this.
Yeah, I actually made it out here. I was sitting in the parking lot and hoping it wasn't going to rain, and then boom.
Yeah, all day I was watching the weather, and then today was kind of the reverse, where it got all the rain out this morning, and I was looking at it. I'm like, I think we're going to get this one in.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and we did. And so what a beautiful day. Seeing a couple of veteran, coaches within the MSL conference, the Mid-Suburban, I think it's Mid-Suburban East. And you've got, I believe it's Coach Jernigan, and he is been leading Wheeling since 2003. And then obviously we've got Ken Graham's the legend.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be an exciting day for baseball or softball, whatever we want to call it here. And pitching today, we've got Bella Andrade, who has been one of the workhorses. Usually Leah Garcia is their number one, Bella's their number two. So she's had a pretty decent season this year, and hopefully we're going to continue and see some good pitching out of her today.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. This is my first time at a softball game in many years, so I'm very excited, and I'm sure both teams are excited to play on a day like this. You don't always get those when the season starts so early.
Absolutely.
And the weather is hit or miss.
Yeah, one of the negatives about playing up north, outdoor spring sports, you just never know when it's going to get nice and when you're going to play. So, but beautiful day to start. And we're going to get started here. Play ball after a little temporary delay with the umpires. And here's the first pitch. Taken for a strike. Always a good way to start off.
Set that tempo early.
Absolutely. Here's the 0-1. Fouled off to the right side for strike two. So this game's a little different than soccer, huh?
Oh, definitely. It's both slower and faster at times.
And there's the pitch in a little bit outside and high to Costello, leading off for Wheeling here. So we got a 1-2 count. Got Maria Smith behind the plate today. Here's the pitch. And it's popped into the air to right, over to right. Second baseman gets under it. Doesn't make it out of the infield for out number one.
Not bad. A 4-pitch out to start off the game.
Yeah, nice play there by Hannah Kugelberg.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was all set last week to talk about how the weather will affect the players, the damp, the cold, the rain.
There's the ball put in the air real quick, hit out at center field. Camps under it for out number two. Yeah, no, definitely. The weather is huge, especially in the game of softball.
Yeah, that was what I was really excited to learn about. I know how it is in soccer and how it affects the players, but now we have a beautiful sunny game.
I love it. I've been waiting for this.
Absolutely.
And I got the number 3 hitter straight, comes up, takes the pitch a little bit low for a ball, 1-0. So we'll go around the horn here, in between pitches here. Here's the pitch, taken for a strike. Nice pitch down the middle. You got Magner at third, Wirtz at short, Kugelberg at second, and Hicks at first. Maria Smith again catching, and Bella Andrade on the mound with her third pitch. A little bit outside, taken for a ball, 2-1. In the outfield, you got Willis in left, Garcia in center, and Tan in right field. 2-1 on Schrake. Here's the pitch. Taken a little low. Working the count, 3-1. Number 3 hitter. Lefty. Looks pretty confident up at the plate. Here's the pitch. Similar to the last pitch, but this one seemed to catch the corner for a strike. So now we got a full count. 2 outs, top of the first. Here's the pitch. Little low for ball 4, and we got our first base runner of the game.
And you got to just shake that off, though. That's been a solid top half of the inning so far.
Yeah, I think that's great for, the number 3 hitter, especially after, your leadoff comes up, sees a couple pitches, but then you get the second batter out right away. And now the third, she works the count well. So letting those other batters see some more pitches so they can get an idea of what Andrade's throwing. Fitzgerald steps in, fouls one straight back to the backstop for strike 1. So again, 0-1. Umpire's checking in on catcher Smith, make sure she's okay there. But we'll see if sometimes you see teams running a lot, sometimes you don't. So we'll see what the strategy for Wheeling is today. Here's the pitch, fouled off, straight back into the parking lot. Really quickly ahead, 0-2.
That should really give her some opportunity now to open up her pitch catalog to really work the outside.
Absolutely. Here's the 0-2. Little low and in. Good pitch to not get over the plate. Show her something a little different. 1-2 count. 2 outs, runner on first. Gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. Looked like she took a little something off on that one. Slowed it down a little bit, and she was a lot ahead of it. I like that. 2 strikes. It's in your advantage as the pitcher. Throw some things out of the zone, see if you can get her to chase.
Yeah, absolutely no need to take any big risk here.
Here's the pitch. Popped up in the air. Looks like it's going to be trouble. Left fielder, center fielder converge. They can't make the play. Ball drops in for a base hit. Looked like one of those just in-between balls, just no one could get to.
Absolutely. Just they dropped down right at the right spot, and they did it. It was a nice job on defense keeping that from anything more, holding up the lead runner at third.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you still have plenty of opportunity to get out of this inning.
Definitely.
Without a run.
Yeah, and this will be interesting to see. You've got the number 5 hitter, Polina, coming up. First and third. There's a lot of teams that are going to take advantage of this situation and the fact that, defensively you maybe don't want to make a throw to second if they try to steal. So be interesting to see if they send her down to 2 and get another runner in scoring position. Here's the pitch. Ground ball. Oh, right back to the pitcher. Comes up, can't make the play, and gets away. It's going to be an infield hit, and the runner is going to score, and Wheeling quickly takes a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. She just took enough off of that ball to keep the third baseman, was it the shortstop, from being able to get a clean, quick fielding on that, and they still almost made the throw. That was a real quick one.
And right away, Andrade gets ahead with a strike to Smith. Yeah, that's tough. When you get those slow rollers, if it gets past the pitcher, it's really hard to make the play.
Yeah. Very similar in situation with their first hit, just dropping between the outfield and the infield.
That ball taken for a low for a ball, so it's 1-1. 2 outs, runners on first and second, 1 run in. Here's the pitch. Popped up to the right side. Is there a play? Just out of play. Hicks couldn't quite get there to make that one. But now you quickly got 2 strikes. You got a 1-2 count. Let's see if the Grens can get out of here and get in and start swinging. Here's the pitch. A little high. 2-2 count. Looked like a rise ball from her. Couldn't get her to chase it. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Strike 3 called on the outside. That was a nice pitch there. Froze her.
Absolutely. That was a classic looking pitch right there, right down the middle. Well, from our advantage.
Absolutely. Yeah, so at the end of the half an inning of play, Wheeling 1, Elk Grove 0. Had a couple of hits, a couple runners left on base, and now we're going to be coming up to the bottom half of the first inning with the Grens. Hopefully we can see some hits and get some runs on the board.
Absolutely, and I think this is probably a good opportunity to talk about Ken Grams.
Absolutely.
We just wanted to say congrats from all of us at EGTV. It's just a big congratulations to Elk Grove softball's coach Ken Grams on having the most wins in Illinois history. Yesterday's win over Fenton marked a monumental 1,045 wins. Coach Grams has 44 years of dedication to the game, leaving a lasting legacy of many generations of athletes. And it's hard to put into words. 44 years, 1,045 wins.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's incredible, and what an accomplishment. First of all, I mean, he's seen so much happen in softball, and he's been a part of so many different things. It's amazing that to anyone that's been around that long to have the success he's had. I was fortunate enough, was able to go through 4 years here because my daughter graduated 2 years ago, but she missed 1 year because of COVID when they canceled everything. But then she was actually catching the game when he got his 1,000th win, which was pretty cool to be a part of.
Absolutely,
at Stevenson High School.
I mean, this is the type of career you don't see every day, and you really just don't see anymore in high school sports.
Not at all.
And sports in general. To stay in one place, to have a career that long, like you said, the amount of changes that he must have seen throughout the game and over the decades.
That's amazing. And I've been fortunate enough to get to know Coach Grams pretty well over the past couple of years, a lot of talking, and I helped him out with a few things over the years, and really had some great conversations with him about softball and how it's changed. And I think he's been able to adapt by bringing in staff. They've got a young staff of teachers here: Colleen Lee, Scott Plaza, former player AJ Troush. So it really helps keep him in tune with what's going on in the game, which is really helpful. So here we go to the bottom of the first. Aaliyah Garcia is going to start it off. Takes the ball a little bit low. A one-hopper in. Trying to get an idea on who's pitching here. Looks like Kuhlman. Throws one, ground ball hit to the shortstop. Bounces off of her glove, makes the throw. Still in time. Yeah, I'm going to say that from here it looked like she beat the throw.
Yep, that's tough. We talk about this over across the street in soccer. The referees, the umpires, whoever they are, they don't have the benefit of the video assistance.
Not at all.
And I've got a really good shot right across that first base. I thought for sure that was there.
Yeah.
That she was safe, but unfortunately, it's all part of the game.
100%. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn and run and get your next at bat. But here's the 1-0 to Katie Wirtz, taken outside for 2-0. Yeah, a lot of people want to complain about officiating, and those are the same ones that don't want to go and put the time in to do it.
Absolutely. I don't know if you have any experience, but I, for many, many years, refereed all the way from
There's ball 3 low.
Pre-kindergarten all the way to before high school. And it does give you a really different understanding and interpretation of the game and what it's like to be in there. It does become very easy to be real critical, especially your passions are high. Everyone, that you want to win, you want to see.
Yeah, and it's, as a player, you just have to take that out of it, right? You have to not have the umpires involved in what's going on. Be aggressive, make the plays, hit the ball hard, and don't let them factor into it. But in the meantime, Wirtz takes a walk. She's on first. Brings up our pitcher. And I'm probably getting her name wrong because I'm saying Andrade, and it's probably Andrade. But I know she's up. She swung at the first pitch. We got an 0-1 count. Runner on first, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Taken outside for a ball. Evens things up.
Now I have a question as a new returning to high school softball. Wheeling seems to be wearing infield face masks.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a common equipment? Is that a newer?
Yeah. So I mean that's a really good point. Is that all the girls in the infield are wearing them. The more advanced of a player you are, the more confident you are. I think you see less girls wearing them, but it's definitely a great safety feature in the past few years. Just helping because you never know when that ball is going to hit a rock or come up and hit you in the face or hit you in the nose or the mouth. So it provides great protection, and I love seeing players that use it, especially younger players and especially pitchers, because the ball gets back so quickly off the bat.
Yes, yeah, that's.
Oh, there's a ball hit in the air. Center fielder's running back towards the fence. Can't make the play. It's going to drop in for a double. Wertz is going to hustle in the third. She had to wait a little bit to see what was going to happen there, but now we got a double. Runners on second and third. We're in play here.
That was well taken hit, and maybe a bit fortunate on the fielding, but center fielder had a lot of ground to cover on that one, and that was right up on that fence there.
Yeah, no, it's Elk Grove High School. A little bit shorter fences in the outfield, 195 all the way around. So sometimes you see some pop-ups get out there, but when you haven't played in the field, it's challenging to know where to go. There's the first pitch fouled off to the right side.
And I would assume, too, when this is your home field, you're much more familiar with how quickly that fence is going to come up on you and how much you can kind of lay out
Absolutely
in there. And with the visiting team, I'm sure there's going to potentially be another opportunity like that, another play like that, where they might cut up a little bit short.
Ooh. Slowed things down with a changeup there. The 1-0 to Kugelberg, taken for a strike. Or actually, there was an 0-1, so now she's got 2 strikes on her. Got to protect. Here's the pitch. Oh, it looks like it's going to drop in there. It just gets over the head of the shortstop. 1 run's going to score. Base hit to left. Kugelberg going to 2 all the way. Now we got runners in second, third again on a new game, 1-1. Nice piece of hitting on 0-2 by Kugelberg there, finding a spot.
Absolutely. Just dropped in there nicely. And heads up base running to take that second base.
Absolutely. That's going to be a tough one for the scorer. They never made a play on her. She never stopped running. So not sure if normally you give her a single and taking second on the throw, but she never stopped. So we'll give her a double. And there's the pitch, ground ball. Nasty happened. The third baseman gets by her in the left field. Left fielder can't make a play on it. Fumbles it in front of her. Going to have another run at second. Now we had run scores, 2-1, runners on second and third. It's like we're playing exchange here.
And that's very much like what you were explaining earlier, the bounce up there.
Yep.
And that easily could have just last second taken one right under the chin. And fortunately for the third baseman, it didn't. And fortunately for Elk Grove, it led to a RBI.
Absolutely. And now with a brand new ball game, 2-1. 1 out, runners on second and third. Brianna Hicks at bat. Low strike call there. Evens things up at 1-1. The pitch from Kuhlman swung at and missed for strike 2. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of pitches that are just near the zone called the strikes. Low, high, in, out. So hitters need to be aggressive today. Don't let the umpire make the call on you. Fouled off their feet.
Absolutely, and as long as they're consistent, you can get into that rhythm and adjust your strategy both as the pitcher and the hitter.
Absolutely.
adjust to that big strike zone today.
1-2. Here's the pitch from Kuhlman. Taken outside for a ball. 2-2 the count. 1 out. Runners on second and third. A little low, gets away from the catcher. They look at it. Kugelberg looks, thinking about maybe going, but decides to stay put.
Yeah, that would have been a close one.
Yeah.
With 1 out, I don't think that's the risk you take at this point in the game.
Yeah,
You're in a really strong position,
especially with a short backstop like they have here. Oh, and there's strike 3 taken on the outside corner for out number 2. Yeah, it's the game. It's a fast game, and you have to really be aggressive with everything that you do. If you're gonna go on a play like that, you have to be breaking on the pitch on your leadoff, and as soon as you see it hit the dirt, be ready to go. And there's the ball hitting play to center field. Center fielder comes in, makes the catch for out number 3. But good inning for the Elk Grove Grenadiers. The bottom half of the first, plating 2 runs on a couple of hits.
Yeah.
Couple runners left on base. And we'll be going to the top of the first with the Grens 2 and the Wildcats 1.
And yeah, all in all, for the first inning, what do you think? What do you foresee for the rest of the game? You think we're going to keep this pace of hits and runs?
Yeah, I think that based upon both teams have good offenses. I've been watching the Wildcats have been able to put the ball in play and score a lot of runs throughout the season so far. Even though they have a losing record this year. But the Grens, especially the last couple of games, they've really been hitting and scoring. So
nice.
I think we're going to continue to see a lot of runs today. And I think the Grens, will eventually, start to really get on top of it. I think that first time through the lineup, the adjustment of seeing the pitcher and is probably a little bit slower pitching than what they're used to. And I think they'll come around and start putting the ball in play even more so. But again, you can't complain about this. This weather.
No, I'm sure that it's not going to be the last time we mention it. What better way to welcome spring than to be outside watching softball?
Yeah,
it's beautiful out. And if you're watching this on replay, you'll have to take our word for it. But it truly is. If you're watching us live, take your streaming device or your stretcher cord outside. Go watch this outside and experience it.
Yeah, get outside. If you're in Elk Grove Village, come on out to the high school.
Absolutely, yeah.
Plenty of good seats available.
Plenty of time left in the game, and it's shaping up to be a good one.
Absolutely. All right, back to the action. Here's the pitch. Swung on, driven it in center field. Line drive, gets through there. Starts the inning off with a base hit. A little slow on the game changer here. It looked like that was Hernandez, the third baseman. Nice little contact play, put the ball in the center field for a base hit. Actually, that was Niznik. This is Hernandez up. Looks like she's going to bunt. Fouls it straight back. 0-1 count. Wheeling coach calls a timeout. Found out some interesting information about their coach today. I don't know if he still is the owner, but he was associated with the Armand's Pizza on Arlington Heights.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he. I don't know
Very
if
good.
I don't know if he still owns it, but great little place in downtown Arlington Heights.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I'm a pizza guy. So I love all
me
kinds
too.
of pizza, and Armand's is pretty good. Got the 0-1 Hernandez, runner on first. Here's the pitch. Little bit low for ball 1. Outfield's playing straight up. Probably medium depth. Infield, same. Third baseman's in. Looking to take away a bunt. Here's the pitch. Ground ball. Hits the second base. Kugelberg picks it up over to first for 1 out. She does her job, though, advances the runner to second base. You can't ask for much more than that.
No, I was going to say the end result very much like a bunt, looked like a bunt, and succeeded.
Absolutely. If you can't get that bunt down, your job is to move that runner to the next base, and she was able to do it. Nice piece of hitting there.
Now the tie runner's in scoring position with 1 out.
It's going to bring up the number 8 hitter, Tan, playing right field today. Actually, I'm sorry. This is the number 9 hitter, France, for Wheeling. Swings at strike 1, 1-1 count. The runner on second base. Here's the pitch. Another ground ball, hit foul. Just past the third baseman. Kind of close to us. Got to keep on our toes here.
I'm feeling safe, but, just
a
good reminder.
We got to watch out for those screamers. 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Oh, like
just
that
like
one.
that, and
hard line drive.
Some small fans in the stands there,
scattering for their lives. She's on her pitches right now. 1-2. Good time to go away from her here. Here's the pitch. Down, another ground ball, foul ball. That's 3 in a row. Now they're out of balls. Waiting for one to come back in. There we go.
I'm definitely going to be paying attention to this next one.
Yeah, for those that don't know, we are right down the third base line, maybe about 20 feet from the fair territory. And there's strike 3, takes it on the inside. I just took a bug off the face. What that was.
Well, that is better than a foul ball.
That is better, yeah. Route number 2. Back to the top of the lineup for Costello. Oh, rips one into right field. It's going to drop in for a base hit. That's going to score a run. She's going to 2. Throw comes in towards home. Might have had a chance if they threw to second. But that's going to be in there for a double. That's going to tie the game up. She looked like she was looking for that pitch.
Yeah, that was, she saw that one coming the whole way.
Oh, yeah. Nice aggressive swing. Line drive, base hit to right, scores a run, ties the game up. It's like I said, this team's got some offense. It's going to be an offensive game today, it looks like. And there's a nice pitch on the outside for strike 1.
Costello there taking a nice big lead off a second.
I like it. Looks like she's a good player. She really looks like she knows what's going on out there. Here's the pitch. Ground ball hit to, gets through the third baseman's legs. Goes all the way in the left field. That's going to score another run. They're going to play a second. And they got her trying to extend it. But the damage is done. Wheeling gets another run on a ground ball to third base that gets through Magner's legs and into left field.
And you know what? It is a good response, though, as a team.
Absolutely.
To get that throw up.
Yeah, that's they take the lead 3-2, and it looks like it's going to be a back and forth battle. Wheeling's not going away. Elk Grove coming into this game has won the last 10 last 10 games against Wheeling, which is going back 5 years. So Elk Grove has had the upper hand on this, but Wheeling is not looking to allow that to happen this year. But I'm sure and confident that the Grens are going to have a response here in the bottom of the second.
Yep, if the first is anything like the second, or if the second is anything like the first, they're going to come back swinging. And, they are coming off of that high with the record-setting win for their coach. So I'm sure that's something that they're going to want to continue to build off of. Oh,
absolutely. They've had a good season so far, and they want to keep it going. And we're going to start off with 8-9-1 here. The right fielder, Tan, steps into the plate. Here's the pitch. Taken outside for a ball. Lots of planes today.
My experience from doing broadcasts is there's lots of planes every day.
Yep. Ball 2 outside. Yeah, with our proximity to O'Hare Airport, It's a constant all day long.
Now, I will say, for the soccer broadcast, we do get to sit up in the booth.
Oh, nice.
So it's not as distracting.
Oh, a line drive to second. Nice play by the second baseman for the first out. A little quieter up there.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. For those early spring games, it's nice, though, not to be outside.
Yeah, and I'm guessing with soccer in such a large field, having that vantage point of being up high so you can see everything that's going on is important. Oh, there's another line drive by the number 9 hitter, Willis. Another nice play by the shortstop. So Elk Grove is swinging the bats. They're just not finding holes yet.
Nope.
That's a quick 2 outs.
Keeping it up, though. They're going to find those.
Absolutely.
They're going to find some spots. They're going to find some holes. It's just it is the name of the game.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Garcia hit one over the fence at some point today. Here's the pitch. Taken for strike 1. Elia has, I believe, 2 home runs on the season this year. Here's the 0-1. Taken a little bit high. Kuhlman with only her 4th pitch of the inning. First 2 pitches were outs. So now she's got a 1-1 count to Garcia. Wind up in the pitch. Hit hard into the gap in right field. That's going to be in there for possibly 2. Nope. Center fielder makes a good job cutting that off. Gets it in. Holds her to a single. Solid base hit there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I really thought that was an excellent done on the cutoff because I really thought she was going for 2.
Definitely. Yeah, ball got away from the shortstop on the way in, so chances are she might have made it if she went, but good decision to hold up, especially with the top of the order here, number 2 hitter.
Although based on the position of the throw, she might have caught one in the back.
Oh, yeah.
Sliding into second. So, in the long run, probably better just to take the single and.
Absolutely. There's the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball out. Pitcher's going to come up, make a play, field it, make a throw. Can't quite get there in time. Beats out an infield hit.
That's good hustle.
Absolutely.
So often you'll see, even at the professional level, you see those players that don't dig in.
Oh, yeah. And any ball hit and play, you got to dig it out because you never know what's going to happen. And that's one of those plays that when you see that ball, especially the third baseman or the pitcher, and you're not playing in, you're not expecting it, it's like,
oh no.
Yeah. Now it's all bang, bang. Ball gets away from the catcher, and everyone's going to move up a base. Now we got runners in second and third for the number 3 hitter.
And now this could get interesting. 2 outs.
Absolutely. Let's see if she gets something through the infield. Grenz can take the lead here. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, hit hard to the second baseman, fields it over to first, and retires the side. So after 2 of play, it's Wheeling 3, Elk Grove 2 after leaving a couple runners on base. Be heading to the top of the 3rd for the varsity Wildcats.
And while we have a break here, congratulations to Julia Corzin on winning the IHSA State Wheelchair Bowling Championship. She bowled her highest single game and series ever. Last year, she earned 3rd place in the tournament. Julia is currently a junior at Elk Grove High School, so we can't wait to see what she does when she competes next year. Great job, Julia, and good luck from all of us at EGTV.
That's amazing. Huge shout out to Julia for that.
That's awesome. It's very exciting to see progress in high school athletes.
Yeah.
When you can see, hey, 3rd place last year, championship this year, and then senior year get to go to defend your title. That'll be a fun one.
No, that's exciting. I mean, to do that well as a junior, that's going to be exciting for her for next year.
Absolutely.
That's one sport that I just never was able to figure out.
Oh, yeah, well, I can't pretend that ever was able to do much more than break 100. So even more impressive.
I'm lucky to get that. So now we're going to go to the top of the third here. We have the number 3 hitter, Shrake, who's your first baseman, lefty. She walked her last time up. Here's the pitch. Hard ground ball just to the right of third base for a foul. Strike 1. That's one thing about these high school games is that, foul ball, you just got to wait to get it back in. Not a plethora of balls to throw in here. The 0-1, taken for strike 2.
So what you're saying is if I catch a foul ball, I don't get to keep it?
No.
What if it hits me in the face? Then do I get
We'll see. Well, I'll let you keep it. There's the 0-2, and on the swing, they get her for strike 3.
That was close. I thought she had checked up there, but once again, those are those calls.
Absolutely. They didn't even need to ask for help on that one. The plate umpire thought she went, and there's out number 1.
There was a study done, and once again, I'm going to reference soccer since that's where all of the majority of my knowledge comes in. In the English Premier League, they did a study both before and after video assistant refereeing came in. And the calls in your favor versus the calls against you pretty much always balanced out.
Yeah.
Both with and without. So it's something always to remember.
Oh, that's interesting. And it usually always does, right?
I was surprised because as a fan, I know my team was getting hurt more than they were helped.
Right. Of course. The 0-1 hit on the ground at the shortstop. Wirtz over to first for out number 2. Quick 2 outs to the top of the third here. Always good when you can retire the 3 and 4 hitters right away.
Absolutely.
Now we've got the 5 hitter, the center fielder, Polina, who made that really nice play last inning to cut that ball off in the gap. Because had she gotten a second on that, she probably would have ended up scoring that inning. There's the 0-0 pitch taken for a strike, so 0-1. I think the key for Andrade is going to be keeping the ball down.
Yeah, Elk Grove's done a good job with only about 1 play in the infield. They've been fielding real well defensively.
Yeah.
On these infield hits, even with the bumps. Now
there's the ball hit to right. Tan's under it, makes the catch for out number 3.
We had discussed how it was beautiful. The weather's beautiful now, but it did rain quite a bit last night and this morning. So the infield does seem a bit wet.
It does, yeah.
Now, how's that going to affect? It's not as smooth of a surface. You get those clumps there. I would assume that's going to have as the game wears on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a wetter field is going to slow down the runners. So they're not going to be able to dig in and take those extra bases as much as they'd like. Ground balls are going to take a little bit longer to get to you. Hard hit balls you see with those clumps out there. Hits one of those, you never know where the ball's going to go.
Yeah.
And we saw that in the first inning, that hard shot to third base that came up and went right past the head of the third baseman.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I was wondering, because you see it now, even just as we're into the bottom of the third. It's getting clumpy.
It is, absolutely. So now let's start at the bottom of the third is the second baseman, Hannah Kugelberg, who is 1 for 1 on the game with an RBI. Looking in from the pitch from Kuhlman. Takes high for a ball. 1-0.
Foul.
Here's the pitch. Little high again for ball 2, 2-0. Trying to look and see the pitcher's hand. Her hands are red. Not sure what is on her hand. There's the pitch. Little low for a strike. Probably not something you want to swing at, but 2-1. Do you notice her hand?
I do. I'm trying to figure it out as well, if that is just perhaps a natural reaction to the
ball
pitch
hitting the
count.
ground. Gets away from the pitcher. Shortstop fields it. Can't make a play, and it's going to be an infield hit or an error, depending on how they're going to score it. Looks like it should have been a made play.
And then that's one of those ones that, like you were just explaining, with the way that it slows down sometimes. It's just not getting there with the speed to run it down and cleanly field it and make the throw.
Ball one is low.
And I would assume they're going to be a little more hesitant to try to make those plays, or else you're going to really judge it. You're going to run it down. It's going to hit a clump, go sideways, and all of a sudden you're giving up an extra base.
Yeah, absolutely.
Play it conservatively. Give up the hit, but
the ball hit hard on the ground between the 5-6 hole and the left field for a base hit. And it looks like the Grins are they got some runners in play here. First and second, nobody out. Looking back at the pitcher's hand, it looks like her hand has died. Like,
it could be. Yeah, it could be like
a school activity that she was doing.
Okay.
Came right from pottery class. Making some red vases.
No, that's one thing that I always love to bring up and remind everyone as we're watching. These are student athletes. The other interests and everything that they have going on in their lives. That it is important to remember. They got up this morning, went through a full day of school. Have to worry about their homework.
There's the 0-1. Taking low for a ball.
That big test this week.
Oh, yeah. We have finals coming up. Well, no, they're still a little early for that. Probably, I think they get out of school around Memorial Day this year.
Okay.
So finals are still a few weeks away. Here's the 1-1 taken high for ball 2.
That's that nice period between. It's not quite finals, but maybe, especially if you're one of the seniors, you're starting to maybe take a little more time on your recreational activities, we'll say, than your academic pursuits.
Absolutely.
But that may have just been my experience. I won't speak for anyone else.
That sounds good to me.
Back, I went to Conant, and this is many, many, many years ago. And senior year, we didn't have to take finals for second semester, and that was great.
Oh, that is nice.
I don't know if they still have that policy.
I don't know. Things are so different in school now. You just never know. And we got a 3-2 count now to Hicks. Stands in. Here's the pitch. Taken for ball 4. Ball gets away to the right side. Not far enough away to think about scoring coming from second. But we do now have the bags full of Grenadiers. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Bottom of the third. The Grens are knocking. We're going to have a timeout here. Coach is going to head out to the mound, talk to his team, get a little strategy going here. While at the same time, the Grenadiers are having an offensive meeting at third base. The umpires, however, not having a meeting.
No, they already have all the answers. So.
It's a long way to walk. Again, for those that don't know, the IHSA uses 2 umpires. So they have the home plate umpire who makes the majority of the calls, fair ball calls, any ball hit and play, and then you've got your base umpire who's responsible for covering all the bases, and then as they move around, once you get into college, you get 3 umpires, makes it a little bit easier on them, but
yeah, that's a lot of ground to cover. A
lot of moving.
Even more to the point of what we were discussing earlier. I mean, you'd like the idea to think that the umpires are going to have the perfect vantage point to make all these calls, but that's just an impossible task.
It's tough, and especially a lot of the umpires are older. They're not moving as well. But here's Maria Smith Stands in, takes a ball outside. So, hey, a walk's as good as a hit here, right?
Absolutely.
The Grens are definitely knocking. No outs, bases loaded. Smith up, 1-0 count. Here's the pitch from Pullman. Taken low for ball 2. Hitters count. Smith is looking for something she can drive here. Hopefully find a gap, knock in a couple of runs. Give the Grens the lead. Coleman on the mound. In the windup, here's the pitch. Swung on and missed by Smith. Coleman looks pretty composed out there on the mound.
Yeah, for bases loaded, and doesn't seem to be bothering her.
Not at all. Looks in, here's the pitch. Fouled straight back. Smith was on that one.
And, you know, where she's at right now, if she can strike out this batter, that's going to really change the feeling of this bases loaded.
Absolutely. It's for an offense, this is where you want to do some damage. And for defense, if you can get some outs here, really gives you a lot of confidence. Yeah. Here's the 2-2. And it's popped up in the infield. It's going to be infield fly rule. Batter's going to be out. Second baseman camps under it, makes the play. And that's going to be the first out of the inning.
And that was about the only contact you didn't want.
Exactly. Yeah, the infield fly rule, for those of you at home not aware with it, with less than 2 outs and runners on first and second or first, second, and third, a ball hitting the infield that should be caught, they rule it as an out. There's a foul ball, the hitter in the box, so 0-1. You know, that's at the discretion of the umpire, whether or not they're going to call it. Anything that looks like it's going to be a playable ball, they're going to go ahead and call that, which means the batter's going to be out, and then it's advance at your own risk. That one was textbook. Here's the 0-1. That's hitting the air to the outfield. Runners are going to tag. Center fielder catches it. Kugelberg's going to attack from third. The throw comes in. Not in time, and the Grens are going to get a run. It's a nice sacrifice fly there by Tan.
Yeah, that at the very least you get the tie, and you're not squandering that opportunity with the bases loaded.
Absolutely. And it's a whole new ball game.
Absolutely. And will we get our third lead change? We still could.
That's what the Grens are hoping for here. Got 2 outs. Runners on the corners. Here's the pitch. Ball hitting the play. Looks like it'll be foul ball down the first base line. And it looks like we've got Willis is a slapper. So she's going to be moving her feet to make contact with the ball. Use her speed. Oh, 0-1 count. Here's the pitch. Taken high. Runner from first is going to go down to second uncontested. Now we're going to have runners at second and third. 2 outs. Tie game, bottom of the third. Base hit that gets through could score 2 here. And definitely that's what the Grenadiers are looking to do. Here's the pitch. Put into play. Out to the second baseman. Can't make it in time, and she beats it out. An infield hit. We're going to score a run. And there's your lead change. The Grens are taking the lead.
And who was that up to bat here?
That was Willis.
Willis. That was. She looked so composed out there. It looked like it was nothing.
Absolutely. And as a slapper, just put the ball on the ground and see if your legs can do the job.
And absolutely. That's not being as experienced in softball. I haven't really seen a play like that. And that's very impressive. As cool as you will.
And she's going to take second on the ball in the dirt.
And just like that is a very different feeling.
Absolutely. And, you know, as a slapper in the game of softball, what you want to do is put the ball in the play and give yourself a chance to leg something out. Slappers are typically your fastest kids in the field, and you could see it there. She beat that out by a good 2 steps before the throw came. Another ball in the dirt. Nice block by the catcher. And quickly a 2-0 count to the leadoff, Garcia, who has a lot of pop in her bat. 1 for 2 on the day. Last time had a nice solid line drive hit to right center. See if she can do something like that again and driving a couple runs.
I was going to say that would be a great opportunity.
Here's the pitch. Hit hard through the left side. That's going to get through. And they're going to hold the runner at third. Garcia's going to make the turn. She's going to head to second. And that's going to be an RBI base hit. So another run for the Grens, making it 5-3. Runners on second and third with 2 outs. The offense is starting to come alive here. And usually the second, third time through the lineup is when you start to see hitters feeling really comfortable, taking good cuts. And Wirtz up. Here's the pitch. Ooh. Taken for a strike. I'm going to say that one is probably a ball in most games, in most zones, but call the strike here, so 0-1 count on her. Here's the pitch. And makes contact but hits it foul. I think with the way Kuhlman's pitching, her balls, some of them aren't getting quite to the plate. Might not be a bad idea for the Grenadiers to step up in the box a little bit, move a little bit closer, take away that break, get a little bit more solid contact on it. Let's see if Wirtz can stay alive here. 0-2 count. She's up in the box now. Here's the pitch. Puts it into play. Right over the head of the second baseman. It's going to drop in there for a hit. Wirtz is thinking 2 all the way. 2 runs are going to score. And she's in there. Ball gets away. Not far enough, though. But that's going to be a nice 2-run base hit there, right over the outstretched arms of the second baseman.
Yeah, that found that gap
absolutely
perfectly.
And just like that, the offense has come to life. Going to score another 2 runs. Got a 7-3 ball game now, just like that. There's the foul ball from Andrade. Putting together a couple nice runs here.
And where we were sitting not that long ago, bases loaded,
right?
No outs. It was a real make or break to see what this who was going to come away feeling better about this inning.
Oh, there's a line drive to center. That's going to score another run. Nice solid hit, and that's going to be 8-3. Ball throw comes in, gets away. Hitter's going to take second. She's thinking third. She's there with no throw, and just like that.
And I think it's going to be Elk Grove's going to have to feel pretty good about the way this inning has gone, and
absolutely,
just in a matter of a couple of pitches, what a difference it can make.
Yep.
And
we batted through the lineup, so this is Kugelberg's second at bat of the inning. See if she can keep it going. And there's a ball. It's going to drop in down the left field line for another run. Kugelberg with a seeing eye single to left field, score another run. And it's all of a sudden 9-3, the offensive explosion this inning.
2 hits, a run, and an RBI is a pretty good game.
Absolutely.
Now, and not just an inning.
No,
that would be a good game.
You're absolutely right about that. Coach Grams is coming out. I think we're going to have a pinch runner here. That Aubrey McGorney is going to be pinch running for Kugelberg.
Now, how do the substitution rules work for high school softball? Now, if you get a pinch runner in, does that mean you have to come out of the rest of the game, or is it how does it work?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We have a defensive substitution here. We have a new right fielder coming in for Wheeling. I think they're going to get a new pitcher up and throwing. Yeah, substitutions are different. So the way it works in softball is you're allowed 1 re-entry.
Okay.
So Kugelberg hitting with McCorney coming in to run for her. Now, McCorney can stay in the game for Kugelberg, but if she comes out of the game, then she would be done for the game. She wouldn't be able to play anymore, and Kugelberg can go back in one more time. So you kind of have to balance that. Now, with high school, you do get courtesy runners for the pitcher and catcher. So you can have someone come in and run if a pitcher catcher are on base, and that's kind of free substitution as long as that player running is not in the game. Then there's something else crazy called the designated player. And so the designated player can take the field or hit for a person that's in the field. And you can intertwine those people so they can come in and out freely for each other. So
there really is a lot of strategy, tactic involved.
Absolutely.
Moving around, repositioning players throughout.
Yeah, it gets really crazy once you get into college softball because you're talking about rosters of 20 to 25 girls. You got a lot more players and coming in and out, and it gets really confusing. A little easier here at the high school level. There's the 1-0 taken for a ball. 2-0 gets away. Corny's going to take second. I got a runner in scoring position, 2 outs, 2-0 count. Yeah, it's so many similarities between baseball and softball, but there's also a lot of differences.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I'm learning here, and I fully expected that.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to learn the rules and just. It's a lot of fun. It's fun learning the tactics of a different sport.
Absolutely. That's like if I was to do soccer, not being a soccer person.
Yeah.
I know that if you kick the ball into the goal, it's a goal. But
you're well on your way.
Yeah, and I know that there's 11 per side. The goalie's the only one who can use their hands.
You're a natural. You're a natural. We'll get you up there.
Yeah, that 1 year that I played when I was 8 years old, stuck with me. Now the Grens are keeping it going here with runners on first and second and 2 outs. Got Hicks up to bat again for the second time in the inning. She's 0 for 1 on the day. She's looking to get something going here. Takes ball low, 1-0. Coleman's still hanging in there.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I can't see any activity. I think there's a girl warming up down outside of the right field fence out there.
This will be her 70th pitch of the game already, and only in the third inning. So, what would you say is the average pitch count?
That's ball
that
3.
That a starter will get to?
Boy, that's tough. 100?
100? Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking in my head, but
there's strike 1. Yeah, depending on how the game's going. As girls start to, you don't have a lot of depth in high school, and as you go through, if you don't have anyone else to come in, you're going to see them throw a lot of pitches. There's a ball hit hard out to right field. It's going to one-hop the wall. 2 more runs are going to score here. She's going to be in there with a stand-up double, and 2 runs are going to score to make it 10-3. Yeah, no, it's pitchers. You'll see girls in closely contested games could throw 100, 120 pitches.
Wow, that's impressive.
Oh, absolutely,
that's absolutely impressive.
Yeah, it's definitely different than baseball. Where baseball, you're going to be held to pitch counts. You have a lot more pitchers that you can use, and especially in high school, the difference between the really good teams and the so-so teams are pitchers. There's a strike.
Got it, kiddo.
The really top teams in the state are the ones that have really solid pitchers and they have pitching depth.
Yeah, since it's a high school sport, there's not a whole lot you can do with that. Either you have it or you don't.
Absolutely. And there's a foul.
There's no going out and getting a middle reliever or a closer.
No. Yeah, and it's I think for a high school team to have 3 or 4 pitchers is a luxury. A lot of teams only have 1 or 2 that can do it, especially with teams that don't have a lot of travel club players on it.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the pitch. Hit in the air to center field. Center fielder's under it, and she can't make the play. That's going to drop in there. And another run's going to score. 12-3 now.
And that one for Wheeling, that's going to hurt a little bit. You think you're going to finally get out of this nightmare inning.
Absolutely.
And just, I don't know if it was the sun or
plane, maybe?
Plane.
Reflection off a plane?
Just couldn't quite get under it. Thought she had it.
Yeah, it looked like the left fielder, more of a left fielder type ball, and the center fielder had to cover a lot of distance. She couldn't quite get there. She's definitely going to say that she's going to tell everyone that she thought she could have made that play.
Well, she did call it. I heard her call it, so she thought she had it.
Yep. Just eluded her. But drops in there for a hit and another run, 12-3. There's another ball hit to right. Right fielder's under it. This time she makes the play for out number 3. So, quite a good inning there. 10-run inning for the Grens. Gotta love those. At the end of 3.
Yep.
12-3 Grenadiers.
And the
going to top
question,
of 4.
I guess the question I have is, will we see another lead change? At the, what do you think?
My gut's telling me no. 3 runs over 2 innings. I think it's going to be tough for him to get back in the game. But you never know. They do have a good hitting team, good offense, and a couple things drop in, a couple things go their way, and you never know. But 9 runs is tough. You know, in high school, they have run rules. And so after certain periods of time, you know, depending on how many runs you score, they can call the game. And I believe it's 10 runs after 5. So
that might come into play here.
It might.
And not even have an opportunity. That's interesting because a few weeks ago I was across the street over doing girls varsity soccer, and they had a rule. They had a, I guess it would, what are they? They don't use the old term of a slaughter rule. They use
run rule.
Well, not a run rule over in soccer.
It's something different. Mercy?
A mercy rule, I guess, would be a mercy sportsmanship rule. And I had never seen that in soccer before. But Elk Grove was winning by so much that the referee actually just shortened the game.
Yeah.
Changed the clock, got him out of there, and it was for the benefit of everyone on the field.
Absolutely. And the first pitch of the inning is taken low for a ball. Yeah, there's been some games, you know, remember when my daughter played, here's a ground ball to third, picked up over to first for out number 1. Rule that in the book as a 5-3 out. Back in the day playing at Wheeling, I remember there was a game, I think, by the 3rd inning, the Grenadiers had put up 25 runs. And at that point, you start to speed the game up and not try to keep rubbing it in. And it's tough, you know, because these players are, you know, they go up there, they're trying to hit the ball.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, the other team is just not having a good day.
Yeah, and I'll say that it's been many years since I've played anything remotely competitive. But I had been on both sides of those games before.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really having a lot of fun.
They're not fun at all.
But it does bring in that always the difficult question when you're up that high. You know, what's expected of you to kind of ease off the throttle, and as we pause for a flyover.
747 flying over.
Excellent for Elk Grove to provide that flyover for today's game.
Right. That went right over us. That was swung at for strike 2. They have 1-2 count on Nisnik. Here's the pitch with a low ball, too.
Oftentimes, I don't know if this comes into play for softball, but in other sports and soccer, sometimes that might be the only time when a younger player on the team gets an opportunity to get in the game.
Sure. Oh, here's a ball your way. Third baseman comes and runs out of.
And I think we're all clear.
Yeah, we're good. Fell in with no one getting injured.
You know, maybe you're an underclassman playing up on the varsity, or maybe you just haven't had many minutes or innings. You want to take your opportunity. You want to play. And, yeah, it may be...
strike 3 called.
Might be 12-3, but this is your first at-bat in 2 weeks, and, you know, you want to really, really lay into it.
Absolutely. Got a quick 2 outs here. Top of the 4th. Hernandez up. Takes strike 1 on the outside corner. Here's the pitch. Swung at strike 2. Quickly ahead 0-2.
And this could be a real rough 4th for Wheeling.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a new pitcher coming in. And there's strike 3 called on the inside for out number 3.
All right, so if you're on the Wheeling team, what are you thinking going out there to field or get back on the mound?
Got to keep it close, right? Hold them. Don't let them get any runs. So it looks like we're going to have a new pitcher coming in based upon the way that we're warming up. Yeah, just keep the ball in front of you. Take it one at a time and get some outs. Get back in and hit.
Yeah.
And they didn't have much success there at the bottom of the order in the top half of their fourth, but as we've seen it, they can throw and they can hit. So
shake off that third inning.
Absolutely. And it looks like we're going to have a new pitcher, lefty, coming into the game.
Well, as we're waiting for the bottom of the inning, grab your chalk and turn the community's sidewalks into encouraging, caring, and respectful art with the Chalk It Up to Character event. From May 11th through May 17th, residents, students, businesses, schools, churches, and not-for-profit organizations are invited to draw family-friendly pictures, sayings, and words of good character on the sidewalks right outside of your buildings. Snap a picture of your artwork and send it to chalkituptocharacter.ccc@gmail.com. Again, that is all spelled out, chalkituptocharacter.ccc@gmail.com. For questions, contact Tammy Miller at millertammy660@gmail.com. That's Miller Tammy, and that's Tammy with a Y, 660@gmail.com.
Now that sounds fun. I'd like to see some of those drawings. You know what? I might actually get out and participate in that.
I think you should. You have to send me over what you end up with. That sounds awesome.
I got a lot of sidewalk in front of my house, and I got a lot of chalk.
I have two little kids that love chalk.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you got to get involved.
Yeah, well, I live a little outside of the borders, but I think, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it that sounds like a good event.
Send in your picture.
I'm going to send it in and just put a little asterisk and say,
absolutely,
from your friends out of town.
Hey, and you're announcing an Elk Grove game, so we're going to make you an honorary Elk Grovian.
Absolutely. My aunt and uncle live in Elk Grove as well. My aunt actually worked at Elk Grove High School for years.
Nice.
So.
As we were speaking, it is a new pitcher. Shrake, who was playing first base to start the game, is now in, lefty. First pitch was a ball in the dirt. Here's pitch number 2. Little low again.
Now, he's a slapper? Is that the correct type, style?
Yeah, slap hitter.
Slap hitter. Now,
this time grounds out to first.
And still almost close.
Yeah.
Still almost got there. Now, can a pitcher keep her pitches low?
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, being a novice at this, it seems like it would really take a lot of the opportunity away for a slap hitter.
Yeah, so it depends on the slap hitter. There's a couple different types of slapping. There's power slapping, where you're taking a step and taking a hard swing to try to hit line drives. And then you have soft slapping, which is what that is.
Okay.
Similar to, outside.
Kind of similar to a bunt.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And the idea behind it is to put the ball in play on the ground. You want to try to chop, hit it down on the ground so it bounces, or hit it to a spot where it goes slower and give yourself a chance to run. So ideally, a slapper doesn't want to hit the ball on the right side because, it's a little bit easier to make that play. But you want to try to hit it to the shortstop or the third baseman and give yourself a chance to beat one out. You strike 1. 2-1 to the leadoff Garcia. But yeah, no, slapping is something that you've got a lot of schools that like it and really rely on it, and then others that will not allow it at all. Swung on, fouled off.
Now, what do you think? Is that just a philosophy, a coaching philosophy style that they want to?
Absolutely. So
they want to instill.
Yeah, in softball, the field's so small and it's so fast. You want to create chaos. There's a ball taken outside, and so typically your slappers are your speed kids. So they're really fast. They've got good back control, and putting the ball in the play and making those fielders speed and go faster than they want to try to get them out creates chaos. And a lot of times you see a lot of errors. There's the ball hitting the air to center. Center fielder under it makes the play for out number 1. So you've got teams like, you start looking in Division I softball, teams like LSU, always been big on slapping, and they create chaos and get runners on base, and then they have their power hitters moving them around. And there's a lot of teams that use that as a strategy, but then there's a lot of them that don't like it, and they just think that power, just like in the major leagues, is what you want. Put the ball in the air, drive the ball for doubles and home runs, and win that way. So it really depends on the philosophy of the coach.
Now, will you see that at the professional level, slap hitting, or is that do you get to that level and the players aren't rattled?
No, you absolutely do, and it's there are girls that most of your slappers today are going to be what you call a triple threat. There's a ground ball hit into the hole, shortstop fields it, a little bit wide on the throw, it's going to get away and going to get to second. I think she might have beaten that one out. It might give her a base hit and an error on the throw to get to second, but Wirtz is on base once again. But yeah, back to so they're called triple threats, and a triple threat is someone who can slap, they can bunt, and then they can hit. And so the idea is to really throw the defense off. And so you could come up there and lay down a bunt one time, the next time you can come away and swing, and the next time you could try to hit the ball on the ground. There's a pop up to the right side. That might be trouble. That's going to drop in fair for a base hit. Actually, it's going to be a double. Never stopped running.
And that ball just died right there.
Oh, yeah, it did. Yeah, that's a tough play. That's a play that the second baseman ideally is really the only one who has a chance to get it.
Yeah.
And she couldn't get over there. It was far enough away. So
that was about as far as she's going to have to go.
Yeah, well placed. But 13-3 now.
But yeah, I can see that idea, the triple threat really sowing the chaos that you're talking about.
Absolutely.
And that's exciting. I like that. That sounds fun to watch. Maybe it's not the traditional philosophy in the sport, but it sounds a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, what's interesting about it is that it's kind of the way the game evolved, is that slapping used to be a big part of it. And so that's why people are still doing it, but more and more with the way the hitting is being taught now, it's more about power. Strike taken.
And what's why would you say that? Any idea what the just natural evolution of the game, the amount of training
Absolutely.
From the young age?
Yes, yes, and yes. Tough break from McCorney there. She hits the ball solid up the middle. Pitcher gets a glove on it, knocks it down, and they're able to throw her out at first. So the Grunts do score a run, so it is 13-3. Heading to the top of the fifth. But yeah, no, it's you look at the metrics of the game today for baseball and softball, and one of the things that you really see is the power. And the game is advanced so far. The training is advanced, from weight training to the equipment that they use to the techniques that they're teaching. And so many people are, and the fields are small. You've seen these girls that have swings just like the Major League Baseball players, especially at the higher level, and they really hit the ball hard.
Yeah.
And so with that, there's been more of an emphasis on, look at the whole sabermetrics in baseball, right? On base percentage, and guys that are putting the ball in play. And so if you can hit line drives and triples and home runs, and you can score that way, and everybody in your lineup can do it, it kind of takes away from that small ball game.
Yeah.
But I think there's always a need for small ball, and that's why I see a lot of the really good teams in the country, which, you're talking about the Power 4 schools in Division I. Most teams have slappers on them. You look at the top teams in the country, Texas A&M, Florida, Tennessee, LSU, they all have them in their lineups.
Yeah.
And so those teams are well-rounded, and they understand the importance of it. So now we're going to move to the top of the fifth. This could be the last opportunity for the Wildcats if they don't score a run. Taken for a ball. Yeah, France up. Swings at strike one, fouls it back, so 1-1 count. Yeah, we might be ending this game short. You might want to start reading some of those.
I was going to say that. I'm going to take that opportunity to say that Elk Grove High School Class of 2025 graduation ceremony is set for May 21st at 7 p.m. You can watch it live on EGTV The entire event will stream on Facebook, YouTube, and on the EGTV website at egtv.org. You can also catch it later on the EGTV on-demand site.
Fingers crossed for some good weather.
That would be good. I mean, I remember back in my day, I'm going to age myself, it was always the big question, will graduation be outside? Will it be outside? And I don't think it ever was.
Yeah. No, it's been outside. Even I've had 3 girls go through the school here. And my last one, who graduated 2 years ago, it was probably 50 degrees with 30-mile-per-hour winds. And the graduation was outside.
Oh, well,
that was interesting.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Was it nice?
It wasn't nice. Here's the 2-2. Oh, hits her on the foot.
And where do they, for Elk Grove, where do they hold it?
Right here at the
stadium.
Stadium, yeah.
I always felt that back then all the fields were natural grass. And,
yeah, they were.
They were not willing to risk the
no
needing to re-turf the entire field when they could have the graduation inside.
Yeah, I think all the high schools are now turf.
I think so. And
ground ball hits the second baseman, picks it up over to first for the first out. Runner goes to second.
The next Village Community Blood Drive will be Saturday, May 10th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Village Hall in Room E. Visit elkgrove.com/blood drive to register or call 877-258-4825. Walk-ins are also welcome. So let's see. Do you think Wheeling can get one on the board here? One on, one out.
Yeah, that's what they're hoping for. Keep the game going here. Because I know IHSA, 10 runs after 5 constitutes a game. So they need to get one here to keep it going. Here's a pitch for a strike. One and one count to Moser. Taking for a strike. She didn't like that one. She thought that might have been a ball.
Well, that goes back to what you were saying, that the large strike zone today. Refs keeping it consistent.
Here's the 1-2. Little low in the dirt. Nice block by Smith. Keeps it in front of her. Keeps the runner at second. And a 2-2 count. One out. Top of the 5th. On a gorgeous 72-degree Elk Grove day. Here's the pitch. Ground ball hit the third right through the wickets. And they're going to hold the runner at third, but the hitter is going to advance to second. So now we got runners on second and third.
That was a smart hold-up because that throw was on point.
That was a good throw.
Yeah. I think that's one of the best throws from the outfield in that I think I've seen tonight.
Yeah, that was a good throw. That was a one-hopper right on the money.
Yeah.
Pitch over, kid.
Now I got one out. Runners on second and third. Wheeling is threatening again. Here's the pitch taken outside for a strike. It's our new pitcher in the game. The number 2 hitter. 0 for 1 on the day with a walk. She's obviously looking to extend the game, put something in play here. There's the pitch. And lined hard in the left field. That's going to score 1 run in. Second run coming around. And it is now 13-5 game on that line drive base hit to left field by the pitcher Shrake. She did not want to go home yet.
No, I mean, she got on the mound. She wants to see what she can do, I guess.
Absolutely. That was a nice piece of hitting. And we got a 13-5 game now. 1 out, runner on first. Brings up the 3 hitter. Fouls one off to the right side.
Into the street.
I don't know any of the Wheeling girls' first names, but I could make them up. This is C. Fitzgerald. Maybe we'll call her Caitlin. Hits one in the air to center field. Garcia looks to be under it. Makes the catch for out number 2.
Well tracked.
Gets it back in.
Well, let me see if I can.
Wirtz brings it to the pitcher. We got 2 outs. Runner on first. Doing some research, looking up some names.
Yeah, I was going to see if I can get a
Well, this is going to be Polina. Her first initial is V, so I'm going to go with Vicky. What do you think?
You know, I'm blanking on anything else.
Yeah, I think Vicky's good. Vicky Polina by hitting. Here's the ball in the dirt ball one.
Let's see here. I'm going to pull up the varsity.
And actually, I left all my notes at
Softball.
home today before the game, and I want to say that is her name. But I'm probably wrong. There's a pitch taken up high. And Polina's ahead 2-0. Wind up and the pitch. Right at the knees for strike one. 2-1, 2 outs. Runner on first. A 13-5 game here. Wheeling Wildcats up to bat. Here's the pitch. And there's going to be a line drive into right field. That's going to drop in. Strake's going to hold up at second. We have first and second with 2 outs. The Wildcats do not want to go away.
Vianza Polina with the base hit there.
Not Vicky, huh?
Not Vicky. Although she could potentially go by Vicky. I don't know.
And so how do you say her first name?
I apologize if I'm saying it incorrectly here. Vianza.
We'll go with V. V Polina. A nice piece of hitting there with line drive to right field.
Yeah, that had a nice sound to it coming off the bat.
Now we've got Smith up. There are 2 M. Smithes, one on both teams. She fouls one back towards the car. Oh, just narrowly misses a nice Chevy Silverado there.
Ooh.
I don't even think he knew what happened.
I don't think he knew how close he came.
The 1-1 pitch. And hit in the air to the pitcher, camps under, and that's going to be out number 3. But in the inning, Wheeling with 2 runs on a couple of hits, and they do get to extend the game.
Showing that it's not quite over yet.
Absolutely not.
So the rule will work as if they ever are up by 10 after the 5th inning.
Mm-hmm.
So from this point on, if Elk Grove scores another 2 innings, or excuse me, another 2 runs in this inning,
mm-hmm.
that's the ball game.
Absolutely, yeah. So if Elk Grove scores 2, this inning, game's over. If they don't score this inning and they come out and hold them in the top of the 6th and are still up by 8, that would be it's 8 runs after 6.
Gotcha. So sliding scale
mm-hmm.
on how many innings we play.
Yeah, giving them a little bit of an opportunity with a couple innings left to get some runs.
Well, the Elk Grove Village Public Works will be holding its annual open house on Saturday, May 17th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at 450 East Devon Avenue. There will be activities for the entire family, including touch-a-truck, street sweeper rides, interactive exhibits, balloon artists, face painters, hot dogs, snow cones, popcorn, and more. For more information, please call 847-734-8800.
That is one of the best days in Elk Grove.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to drive on over here. I got 2 little ones.
It's a fun day, and it's just a great event.
That just is about every one of their favorite activities.
Ball hit on the ground to second base, scooped up over to first, route number 1. Yeah, and when you're out there, make sure you say hi to Todd Gore, a friend of mine who works for the Village.
Absolutely.
He tall guy, but his daughter also played here. She's a pitcher. She's now playing in college.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, that's his favorite event of the year because obviously he works for the Public Works Department. And
yeah, that sounds awesome.
Loves getting out there. But it's a fun day for everybody.
Yeah. I'll have to say, going to the touch-a-truck events are always fun. And as an adult, it's like, well, I don't get to go around all these trucks either. So.
Oh, yeah. Here's a ball hitting the left field. Solid for a base hit. And that's going to be the first runner of the inning for the Elk Grove Grenadiers. Hicks with a line drive single to left. It's going to bring up Maria Smith, the catcher. Smith is looking for her first hit of the game. And here's the pitch. Taking outside for a ball. And there's strike one taken on the outside corner, so 1-1 to Smith. Strake's looking pretty solid out there on the mound. Looks confident. Here's the pitch. Taking for a strike, 1-2.
And from where she's standing, they're winning this game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she's come in and done a nice job. Here's the 1-2 taken high for a ball, 2-2. Runner at first, looking like she's thinking about running, but stayed put. There's a delivery, popped in the air to left. That might drop in there. Oh, left fielder comes in, makes the play for the out.
A lot of ground to cover, and she covered it.
Yeah, she got there. That's out number 2. That's, based upon some of the hits earlier in the game, it's good to see that they made some adjustments and have been going after those balls. The similar balls dropped in earlier, but not that one. This ball one outside.
And it'll be interesting to see if Wheeling can get a few more runs and if this turns into more of a game, because it's been an incredibly close game with the exception of that one inning. And
ball 2 outside.
Obviously, a game is played over all the innings, but when you take that out, I mean, these are two teams that are really...
Yeah, with the exception of that inning, Wheeling's got that 5-3 lead. Elk Grove hasn't, since that inning, haven't scored any. Well, one run they've scored, but Wheeling with a couple last inning. They're looking to stay in this. There's ball 3 outside, 3-1 count, 2 outs to Tan, the right fielder. But yeah, Wheeling is definitely, what's different in seeing this team this year versus previous years is that they're battling and they're fighting. They're foul ball into the parking lot.
Yeah, I haven't seen any signs of them giving up, even with the score.
Yeah, I think I've gotten so used to the last couple of years of seeing some really crooked numbers getting put up against them, and not so this year. So much improved team. I understand they've got a couple freshmen that are some good players. Makes a world of difference. There's ball 4 outside. Grens are getting something going here with runners on first and second. Willis up to the plate. Yeah, this is definitely a different Wheeling team than I'm seeing here. Really like what they're doing out there and how they're playing. They got some nice players. Here's the pitch, swung on. See Willis dropped on a bunt here. The third baseman playing back. Walk to first base. Hits the ball, gets in play. Oh, off the foot of the first baseman. Second baseman's there to cover. Not in time, though. Going to load the bases. Great job of the second baseman backing up the ball that got off the first baseman. Almost had her at first with that
close.
Speed.
Once again, just lots of credit. That's the 4th time.
Yeah.
And 3 out of 4. She has beaten out that throw, and that's just all hustle.
Absolutely, and that's what you want from your slappers. Creating some chaos.
And I just have to say, she does make it look so calm. To creating chaos never looked so calm.
Taking another ball. Garcia, a threat to go deep here. She could walk this game off. 2-1 count. It's the pitch. Oh, she was swinging for it.
Yeah.
That was a hack right there.
That is, you have the freedom to do that in this position.
Yeah. You could see your eyes. We could see your eyes light up from here.
And that one was right there. That was one to do.
She wanted that one. 2-2 the count, bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Little low, gets away from the catcher, but they're going to hold up. That short backstop really prevents a lot of runners from thinking about trying to take that base. So 2 outs, bottom of the 5th, bases loaded. Runners are going to be moving on the pitch. Here it is. Ground ball up the middle. That's going to get through, and 2 runners are going to score. That's going to make it 15-5 and 10 runs, and that should be the game here. Yep, Garcia with the walk-off for an Elk Grove winner, 15-5.
Well, she got the walk-off.
She did.
Maybe not the most spectacular, but also just good, solid play and a good, solid hit for 2 RBIs.
Absolutely.
And in a closer game, I think they're sending for the third. They're sending her home. But
absolutely, with the speed.
Knowing what that the game is.
Yeah.
You see the third base coach just say, he's off there. Save it for the next game.
Yeah, definitely. And so just to wrap up things here, Elk Grove Grenadiers with the win over the Wheeling Wildcats, 14-5. It was an offensive battle. Great game, beautiful day. Great commentary from Brian.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, this was awesome.
I feel like I've learned so much, and I wish we had another 4 innings to keep educating me. But
well, we've got. Hopefully, we'll be back here doing this the Conant game in another week and a half. I think a week from next Monday.
I'll have to see if I'm on the schedule. That'd be great. I can see my alma mater.
Here you go.
See what they did. And before we leave, I'll just say the 10th annual Golf to End Alzheimer's will take place on Friday, June 6th at Glendale Lakes Golf Club with a shotgun start at 11 a.m. Volunteers, sponsorships, and raffle prize donations are also needed. For more information, visit lostsoulsandalls.org. That's LOSTSOULSENDALZ.org. Proceeds benefit the local organization's LMJ's Lost Souls Alzheimer's Fund in its mission to make a difference in the fight against Alzheimer's disease. And then, like you were saying, our next live games on Elk Grove TV, on EGTV, we'll be back with more varsity softball on May 5th when the Grens take on the Conant Cougars at 4:45. And be sure to tune in this Friday, April 25th, when the boys varsity baseball team also play the Conant Cougars at 4:45. Watch them both live on Comcast Channel 6, Facebook, YouTube, or on the EGTV website at eg-tv.org. There is also a link on the website to the on-demand page, so you can watch all the games at a later date and time.
Awesome. Thanks again. Thanks, everyone, for listening and tuning in. Go Grenadiers, and enjoy the rest of this beautiful day.